asshole if I keep doing this stuff then.
Okay, so.
Oh, cute. I don't know that one.
Which one are you looking at? Oh, Presto?
Uh-huh.
That's,
Is it a short?
shoot.
Is it a
yeah,
short?
it was a Pixar short. Oh, God, I forget which one it was in front of, though.
It was creepy.
Do you remember which one?
Oh.
I love the art.
That's really cute.
I love that old-timey look, like that old Smashing Pumpkins video. Tonight.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's so cute. It's like puppets. I used to do puppets.
Like make them or like
I was a puppeteer.
Oh, how cool.
And I got to meet all the different kind of puppet people there are out there.
Sort of. I have like a countdown, so like we've got like a minute and 30 seconds. They can hear us, but it's fine. Oh yeah.
If you have time for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Would this be like just like during the week type of thing?
Just come down, they'll schedule a time, you come in.
I'd be so down for that.
So cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay.
Look at her, all her little fans. So fun. Thank you for including me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I know it's like so
I'm
random.
trying to think of a scary story. The time
Like,
I
what
couldn't
about
pay
one of your
rent in
friends?
January, I like couldn't pay rent, and I was like, should I strip or sell my blood?
You can sell your blood?
You can. I'm not a
Who's
candidate
buying
though.
it?
I don't weigh enough. You don't weigh enough.
I can't donate blood.
Who's buying?
Yeah, who's buying blood?
For the blood bank. You can.
But I thought it was just like donation.
You can donate, but some people
you-
with rarer blood types can sell.
Oh. I learn something new every
Think
day.
about that. Sell your eggs.
I thought about that too. Hi! Welcome to OUIJA Wednesday. I am here with Soraya. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Soraya.
So if you guys remember I forget what I called it, but there's an episode of Something Scary where there's a little girl named Baby who has an imaginary friend named Sven. She's not Baby, but she's the one who told me that
I'm
story.
Baby's niece.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You might be too.
Do you want to just really quick say hi to all of the usernames that you can read?
Hey, Bella Boo, Roman, Jovi, Roman, Clementine, what's up? Marishka Hargitay is mom, really? No, she's dead. Roman, Megan, Anime Up, what's up?
Sorry, I'm like, I'm reading the chat. So reason why I wanted you to come on is because I know that you're really into spooky dooky stuff, as are everyone else here. And you are a ceremonial Aztec dancer.
I am.
Can you explain what that is?
So a ceremonial, I grew up in Southern California, and I do identify with being a Native American, though my family hails from the Philippines and from Puerto Rico. I was raised in Southern California and raised in a Native American path through the Lakota tradition and also Mexican tradition, descendants of the Aztecs. They're called the Mexica. And I basically just learned how to honor the seasons and welcome change through ceremony. So, we honor every season, the solstices and the equinoxes, and so it was a really cool way to live. Taking time to prepare for the ceremonies, learning how it's really serious business to take care of a fire, the responsibilities around taking care of a fire, the preparation that goes into an event, feeding people, the intention too that brings everyone together. A lot of times it's tragedy. So getting everyone together to pray for a cause and stuff like that. It was a really nice way to grow up.
Wow.
And I started doing that at 13, which is my favorite number too.
Oh, 13 is a great number. What can you walk us through what a ceremony looks like, or like a typical ceremony? Like, how often do you do it these?
So ceremonies can happen for every season, for the changing seasons, but it can also happen for a birthday party or a wedding or a funeral, or any time of struggle when you need people's support to help get you through a hard time. And ceremonies mostly consist, it's always around a fire, building the fire, gathering, some people like the Lakota, which the way I was raised, we would do sweat lodges. So gathering the firewood, getting the rocks that you use in the lodge, building the actual lodge, because most people don't leave their lodge. Some people would call it a teepee, but the lodge will house the fire, and that's where everybody gathers around and sets their intention. So that's a form of ceremony too, the sweat lodge.
So what is a sweat lodge? Like,
what is a sweat lodge? So the ancient Mexican people, they still practice it today, but it started with a temescal. So a temescal is like a sweat lodge, and it is in the earth. That's the only difference. Whereas a sweat lodge, like a northern plains, the relatives of the Aztecs up here up north, it would be the teepee. It's like not an inverted teepee, but it would be in the ground. So here up north, I've never had the opportunity to do a temescal. They do have them here. This was all once Mexico, so there's a lot of people that don't acknowledge the borders, which is awesome, and they still practice those ways. But the sweat lodge is just a place for purification. Technically, children don't need to be in the sweat lodge because
they're already purified.
Yeah, because we don't really believe in the original sin Christianity thing, that you're born a sinner. We believe when people are born, they're pure. In this lifetime, they're pure. And so if they are part of the sweat lodge and they come in and they pray with us, they're kind of just getting groomed, or they're just learning how to prepare for a ceremony. And they need to know too that it's a place where they can come for, in the old days we didn't have psychologists. You would consult with a tribal elder. Some people still don't go to psychologists or therapists, or maybe they do that, but then they also come to the lodge, and that's a place for prayer. And some people would call it meditation. And it's kind of where traditionally men would only do it too, because they needed a way to purify. And they also believe, we also believe that women, we are able to purify when we have our cycle every month. So
interesting.
But women also do sweat. They do go in the sweat lodge.
So where are these sweat lodges?
They could be
They're
anywhere.
just all over?
They could be anywhere. I have friends that have them in their backyards. There's places that have them, like the healing space you were talking about in Pomona. Some people just have healing spaces that they go to, and it's just strictly for ritual and practice, and it's separate from their home. But, we're in LA, so you kind of put it all together.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions for Soraya at any point, let us know. Someone said I am half Puerto Rican.
Oh, what's up? What's up, half Puerto Rican?
So
Tainas.
So your mother practiced Santeria? Is that
My mother? No, my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yeah, she wouldn't call it Santeria though. Like most people don't. I actually didn't even know they called it Santeria till I moved to California. Because we were raised, I don't know if you know, we were raised in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came here in elementary school, or a little bit before elementary school, and still continued to travel back, and we just called it Catholicism.
Oh, really?
We thought it's Catholicism. And it wasn't until I went to college and learned about other religions that everything that I read about was completely what we did in our house. And I'm like, because we didn't kill chickens though. Some people use animal sacrifices when they think that they're being hexed. We didn't practice in that way. Grandma did more stuff like she had altars.
I forgot to tell you, there's different sound effects when people like follow or do stuff.
Really? That's so cool. I like sound effects. Foley art is really cool. I really wish I followed that. I love sound effects. That's a thing. That's an inside thing. It's a hard thing to get into, I hear. But my grandma had just funny things around the house, like altars with, it was more for prosperity. So she had an altar with some of the favorite things. They practice this in Mexico too, where they have, she had pictures of my grandpa who died before I was born. And he's a native that actually spoke our tongue. I was taught in school that our tribe didn't exist. It's really sad. Don't believe things you learn in school. You can learn outside of school. But after he died, He's a Taino native person. My grandmother, to honor him, would put his picture out, some coffee, his favorite cigar, and some of his favorite treats in an altar with like a bunch of lottery tickets. You know, so that was like her prosperity corner.
Oh.
So that's the extent. And then she told me funny things here and there, none of which are practical at all. One interesting thing she taught me was when you wanted to keep a bad person away from you, you wrap their picture in foil.
And does that work?
Well.
Oh, thanks for hosting. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you're the one who's half Puerto Rican. That's what I say. That's what I read. My great grandma practiced Santeria. Yeah, everybody practices different. So the thing with keeping someone away, according to her, I'll give you guys this nugget. She said wrap their picture in foil and then put the picture in water and stick it in the freezer, and that person will stay away from you.
Huh. Have you ever done that?
I did do that one time.
And did it work?
I can't remember because I think I wasn't that angry at that person at the end of the day, and I forgot all about it. So I'm not a very good witch. But I think that humans need these physical kind of we need to reenact things. I think humans need theater. We need theater to affirm what, you know, if you want to keep somebody away from you, you could probably just do it right here.
Yeah.
But if it helped my grandma to wrap it in foil, I mean, these are the old days, and I don't want to say she's a simpleton, but you know, if you think that that's going to work and you need some kind of physical manifestation to carry out things that you think you need in your life, I think that's kind of how that got mixed in with Santeria. Santeria is also, you know, was also very much blended with the African, West African traditions. So you'll see a lot of Santeria having a lot of African influence, very different from even Cuba. Very different from West Africa too. It turned into something different, and they used Catholicism as a code. So some of the saints, when they were shoving religion down people's throat, they had codes. So every seemingly Catholic deity was really code for an African god.
Oh.
And they're gods to some people, but they're also concepts. Yeah.
Oh. So, like, what's an example then?
So, like, if you want to pray to, I think, Santa Barbara in Cuba is really Oshun, I believe. And Oshun is the goddess of, like, the rivers, for example. And she's who you pray to for health and abundance. And she also represents beauty and maybe vanity and flirtatiousness. And if you want to pray to her because she's the one that some priest said is watching over you, but you couldn't openly practice your what is now called Santeria, you would use this code word, which is going to be that saint, Santa Barbara.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to keep it a secret. So it manifested in very different ways.
Oh, interesting. Ooh. How? Oh.
All these Puerto Ricans in the house.
I know. One of my ancestors was burned at the stake in Salem for being a witch. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
My great grandma on my mother's side was a curandera.
Curandera, a healer. It's awesome. Right.
Oh, cool.
There's still curanderas today, and a lot of people that are not getting the help they need from doctors or psychiatrists or psychologists or don't have a community around them will go to a curandera now for physical ailments or when they think that they need protection.
Yeah.
So they carry out spells too.
That's very similar to that healer woman that I was telling you about earlier. My aunt and my cousins, they go to this woman who does like spiritual healings in Pomona. It was like, I didn't know what to expect when I went, but like it was actually surprisingly very Catholic. Like she's this Filipino woman, Catholic woman. I don't know why I was like, it's strange how I can't, the idea of like certain things doesn't like, connect with Catholicism in my head. Does that make any sense?
It does make sense because I think people practice based on their lived experience. So like even now coming up here, I was telling you I've never done Ouija board before. And I know a lot of it is like psychology and a lot of it is just like your, what do you call that? Your subconscious. And I think all that stuff is fascinating. I love science and everything. But I have residual Catholic, scared. I'm scared of stuff. So I brought my own sage to protect myself. Can I burn it?
Yes. And I was like, can you please actually?
Yeah, so I brought sage, and like sage is a Southern California thing. I know this streams all over the world probably, right? Sage is very sacred. I do want to scare you guys about something. Please stop picking sage.
Where does sage grow?
Sage grows in Southern California. And sage is endangered right now because people pick more than they need to. And, even if you don't believe in scary stuff or spirituality, this stuff smells really good. And it does have purification properties, even on the scientific level. So it's really cool. If you have asthma or allergies, you want to do this with an open window. But a lot of people use this for cleansing and smoke, period. Especially like with certain herbs like cedar is good for cleansing, spiritual cleansing. Some people would say it's for protection. From what I understand, it's just from cleansing. But
I remember reading somewhere that the way that the smoke flows says something about the space. Is that true?
I've heard that from people before. I mean, I think people should be open to any kind of information that people offer, because I think it's really magical when you meet someone and they're from another part of the world and they carry traditions from their people, and I'm never gonna say I know everything about sage or about anything, because every time I meet someone it kind of changes like what I think. Yeah. But the Southern California sage, the white sage, is really, really special, and if you ever have a chance to pick it, only pick as much as you want, and always leave you want to leave something behind. Some people leave hair, some people leave tobacco, but it's also the act of humility. You're leaving something because you took something. And I'm not saying something bad will happen to you. If I did, that would be very Catholic of me. Yeah. But it's also very Catholic of me that I'm burning sage to protect myself from the Ouija board. People should know how complicated we all are.
Yeah. So. I used to be terrified of Ouija boards, just like their existence, but I think I know, and now I'm like, nah.
You're drawn to things that scare you. This is her laptop case, actually.
This is from Toys R Us. My friend got this for me for Christmas, but like. I feel like the more research that I did about it, the less scared I was. And I feel like that's a lot of things. Just like the more you dive deep into the history, like, oh, there actually isn't really a reason for me to be scared of this just existing. Like, I do believe that like it could potentially be used as a tool for something not great, but I'm not using it in that way. So that's why I'm like, I think I'm okay.
Well, we're also assuming that when people are dead, they're angry and they're after you.
Right. There's good spirits.
There's good spirit. I mean, and then what is good? I mean, what did you do to that person? I think some of us just might have guilty consciences. And then part of me is like, this is a very old building. A lot of things have happened here. She lives in a very old neighborhood. This is a very old neighborhood that was bumping and thriving. 100 years ago, there was a lot of things happening. So...
like, there's a lot of stuff happening all over. We just, like, don't tap into it all the time. Have you ever seen anything or felt anything or had any kind of experience with spirits?
I don't know why that's so hard for me to answer.
So probably not.
I don't know. I'm so open to it that I don't know. I think I have a lot of respect for ancestor worship. I think about my ancestors all the time. I think about their struggle, just being a global conscious person. I'm more afraid of our president.
Yeah. Right in the back, just laughing.
I'm not afraid of the dead. In that way.
Yeah. That is actually kind of a nice or reasonable way of looking at it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean,
I believe in other realms, though. So
right. And in a way, like when you said like you do like ancestor worship, like in a way that is like resurrecting them because they're alive, like in you.
Yeah, actually at our ceremonies, we always burn this resin from a tree. We call it copal, and it's basically amber. It's before it becomes amber, and it's the sap of the tree. And the reason we burn it is because it takes like 500 years for that sap to crystallize. So to us, it's a time capsule.
Oh.
And in a lot of native traditions, you could talk to like many, many nations. I'm not speaking for all of them, but many, many nations believe that when you're praying, some people could call it intentions. Some of us don't like the word prayer. Your intentions, your meditations, your thoughts, they go into the smoke. So when you're burning the smoke, again, it's like how I think that humans like theater. We need physical affirmations that what we're doing is right. Like we have this innate need. Humans need to know that we're more than just this. I'm more than just my shitty job.
Yeah.
You know, there's more to me, and I come from more than this that I see in front of me. I think we like that. And when we burn the amber, our prayers actually go to what they call the Eagle Nation, and the eagles fly really high, and then they take our prayers to the gods.
Oh,
I personally believe that we're all gods. That's my personal spirituality outside of what I do. That's like just Soraya. I think we're all gods.
Yeah. That's
I think
awesome.
we're powerful like that.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I never really fully got on board with Catholicism, because the whole thing is about like how you aren't God.
Yeah.
You are nothing like God. Well, we're in his image, but
Or you need someone to talk to God.
right. Like it can never be like just you, which I'm like, I don't know. I think I have good grasp on that. I don't know. Oh, you're really quiet. Please speak louder. You can move this
me?
closer to you, yeah. Or just scoot your body.
I would be the first non-loud Puerto Rican you've ever met too.
Sorry, guys. Oh, bye, Felicia. So someone with the username bye Felicia is saying bye. So I'm like, okay, bye. Let's see. Any...
Are they talking to each other? That's what people do?
They are. Sometimes it can get confusing because sometimes
go
I'll
to the
look
market, pick up eggs. What is this? It's a grocery list.
Okay, what do I want to ask?
Hello, Winter. What's up, Boricua? Oh, Boricua is what Puerto Ricans call each other, by the way.
Is that like only what Puerto Ricans can say?
Everyone can say it, but you're a Boricua if you're Puerto Rican, because Puerto Rico was called Borinquen. That's the real name of our island.
Oh.
Yeah, we were the first tribe to be fucked over by the Spanish before the Aztecs, actually.
Oh, wow.
If you guys ever read an amazing book called The People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, it starts with our people, actually.
Oh, cool. Oh, hi, hey girl, hey.
Quack, quack, quack. That's very important.
I know. What like a weird username. So
Say a prayer to Saint Michael. Ooh, what does Saint Michael do?
Is he
the archangel?
yeah,
he's not the archangel. That's not the same person.
There is a angel named Michael, but Saint Michael is something different.
Oh, is it? Someone paid attention at Catholic school.
I know, like 12 years. Hello.
Oh, you went to Catholic school the whole
my
time?
entire life.
I only went Saturdays.
Oh, wow.
And you know where I went? Down the street. The precious blood of Jesus.
That's what it's called?
Yes. Scary. Nothing scarier than that, you guys.
Catholicism is really intense.
Yeah. We would eat the body of Christ, you guys. That's pretty intense, right?
Yeah. And then like pictures of just like
suffering and stuff. I wonder why we didn't feel like joining. I wonder. I do like the architecture though.
Yeah.
That was my contradiction. Love the architecture.
Those beautiful buildings that came out of it.
Same thing with the missions. You guys know that the missions are haunted.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not sure if the missions are haunted when you're not on mushrooms, but I think they are. And as a ceremonial dancer, we were not allowed to go to many, many missions because the missions are also sites of where they slaughtered Native American people.
Oh, wow.
And I want people to know that the mission in Santa Barbara, there's a placard there of maybe the names of 100 or 200 people, but there's over 2,000 bodies buried there, unnamed, because their bones are in the mortar of the actual building.
Whoa.
That would be a real haunted place to go to. It feels haunted. Have you
been there?
Yeah, I went. They told me not to, but I went. I went as a tourist with my mom. Not on mushrooms. And yes, it was scary. You can feel things like that.
Yeah.
I went to an abandoned prison here in East LA you should go to.
What's it called?
It's the old jail. It was last used during the LA riots. You ever been there? That place feels scary too.
Yeah.
You could feel the sadness there. I think there's something to suffering and sadness, and I think that's what haunting is. I think it's those
picking
feelings.
up on the like residual energy of a place.
Because the mission, the priests got a lot of people pregnant that they weren't supposed to, so they got rid of the babies there.
Oh, wow.
So it's mostly babies.
Oh.
And in Ireland too, in the church.
That's messed up.
They just uncovered a grave of 400 bodies, and it's unmarried women that were punished and their babies.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, so
that's
sad.
pretty haunting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got a question. I low-key want a Ouija board. I used to be terrified of them because according to my mom, using the Ouija board can summon a demon. Now that I know it's not dangerous if you use it right, I've been wanting one. But since I was raised a Catholic, my mom would freak out if she ever found out I wanted one.
Your mom probably freaks out about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you probably do them anyway. So
Yeah.
I say just do it.
Yeah, like I don't even know if like my parents know about this show, but I know if
I
my
hope
mom
they
saw,
don't.
she'd be like, I know, it's like, what are you doing, Sapphire? Don't mess around. Like Nina and Grace, like she scares me, dude, like with the things that she says, because when I told her like, oh, I'm learning how to do tarot readings, she was like, because she thinks that this is evil, which I don't.
But she sees a healer though.
Yeah, see, it's
She's
a lot.
opening that door.
Yeah, but she said
She'll
that,
be ready to
like,
come on this show soon.
I don't know. There's one thing that she told me one time that like haunts me. I say this all the time just because like it genuinely freaked me out. It's when I told her like, oh yeah, I'm learning about like tarot reading and all that stuff, and she is like, Sapphire, there's a lot of things about this world that like we don't know, and whether or not, I don't know, what did she say? She said the devil's greatest trick is making us believe that he doesn't exist. And that freaked me out. That's like the scariest thing, because it's like no matter what I do, he exists is what she's saying. And I'm just like, that's the
These are some more scary Catholic stories. I'm telling you, we could make a book about this. The only thing I remember from catechism was that if I went to hell, I would be begging the devil for a drop of water to moisten my lips. That is all I remember.
Oh my God.
That's all I remember from catechism.
That's all you remember.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. That's a lot of fear in that religion.
Yes. Yes. Liberate yourselves, guys. You should question everything. If it doesn't feel right, you're going to feel it right here.
Yeah.
I've ignored this feeling a lot, so I tend to listen to it a lot now. It's pretty awesome. A lot of cultures talk about the stomach, even in the Japanese culture, that this was the first brain. And when babies are born, or actually when we're zygotes, fetuses, the head and the brain are connected. That's actually one of these new...
The head and the brain?
The head and the stomach.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Stop listening to my words. The head and the stomach are connected. They're fused. But the intuition thing is totally real. We can feel things in our stomach.
Yeah. So I say listening to your gut.
Listening to your gut is really real. That's why dogs bark at don't like people sometimes. They smell your fear. They smell your pheromones. So I think the more we're in touch with that, the better we're going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not going to fit in a religion box,
Yeah. Are you going to play the Ouija board? Maybe.
Are we just going to do everything you guys say?
I would love to give you a tarot reading.
Drink my coffee? Okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to ask? The cards.
The cards.
I'm like still not great at this, so I might need to use my book. So go ahead and shuffle those. And then like just while you're shuffling, think about what you want to ask the cards. And usually it helps to think.
Am I shuffling on my cards, or is there a special kind
No,
of...
whatever way you want. Like you can ask about career, family, relationship, whatever. But usually it helps to start with like a category and then go from there.
Okay. How about career?
Okay. And then
Should I
it should be
continue being a podcast guest for a living? Who else wants me on their podcast?
Oops.
Oh, this is not a podcast. What is this called?
It's a live stream.
Live stream. I'm sorry, kids.
They don't care.
I feel like my mom's saying the wrong thing about stuff.
All right. So
Career.
Okay. Anything specifically about it?
Should I change it? I've been at the same
Should you
place for
change it?
7 years.
Okay.
I drive an hour and a half to go to work.
Right.
But it's mad creative. I do it because I love what I do.
And what do you do?
I work in the health field. I get people. I help people get off the drugs they don't need to be on. I work in sports medicine and anti-aging.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So anywhere from the deck, you're gonna pick 3 cards and then just place them face down like that. So wherever you want.
Ray, can you take my picture? Not this second, but anytime. Something so I
Okay.
could post.
So let's go with, all right, so this will be past, present, future. All right, so Page of Cups, the world. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't like that sound. I don't want to be interesting.
Oh,
I'm tired of that.
All right, so for first card, she got Page of Cups. And then the second one is the world. And then the third one is the, what is this? 10 of Pentacles. All right, so let me think real quick. I might need to look up this one. Page of Cups. All right, I don't want to mess it up.
You're so
I'm
lucky you
gonna-
have House of Intuition right by here.
Yeah, it's kind of pricey.
I'm
though.
going to tell you about that place later.
What about
It's
it?
all good.
Oh, okay.
You're going to love that place when I finish telling you. Besides the fact that it's owned by women of color
Oh yeah, I knew that. I think.
and queer, which is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So Page of Cups. The Page of Cups usually shows a young man in decorative short garb wearing an elaborate hat. This page signifies a young person, male or female, possibly a son, daughter, or a younger sibling who is bringing you a message about love. It might mean an engagement or a wedding, some situation that holds an inherent emotional risk. The circumstances may be exciting yet scary at the same time, as with a sudden elopement. Often the page suggests naivete or vulnerability, especially in matters of the heart. If the card represents the querent, it says you have already decided to take an emotional risk. You're willing to give it your all and feel things will work out. So that's in your past card. So did you feel like you were taking some sort of emotional risk when you got your job in Torrance? No.
No, but I am engaged.
Oh hey! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so maybe that's what it's talking about.
Maybe it's literal.
Yeah. All right. So the world is oh crap.
My passport expires next year. And I've only been out of the country once. I hope that's
Oh,
literal
really?
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So the world is like a card of the end of your journey. It usually represents that
Oh.
you got it. You have the world now. Everything is fine.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe it's speaking to how, like you said that you love it. That's why you make the sacrifice to drive so far every day.
Mm-hmm.
But let me read you what it says.
Oh, right. And this had to do with my career too then.
Okay, this is the last card of the Major Arcana. It represents balance and support by unseen forces and symbolizes the end of the spiritual journey begun with the Fool. To embark upon the spiritual journey is to invite unseen forces to interact with us. These creative energies manifest in many ways and often serve as guides. You're entering a place of great powers and sometimes great secrets, the realm of the sacred. To interface with this world is to be impacted in a way that is life-changing. Here you connect with supreme power, not the power of the material world, but of the invisible order that supports and nourishes our world and our lives. When the world card appears in a reading, it is a signal that you've been guided to the successful conclusion of your spiritual journey. At this, the final stage, you will receive what is rightfully yours because you've earned it. You feel whole, complete, refreshed from your long journey and ready to begin anew at a higher level. Success in all endeavors is assured. Everything is available to you and all is right with the world. Whatever you do now will prosper. A career change, a move to another place, a new relationship, recognition, rewards, acclaim. This is the end of an old cycle and the beginning of a new one. You have mastered the complexities of your inner nature and feel supported by your inner resources. This is a time of supreme self-confidence and victory. You have put your trust where it belongs, in a higher power, and you will reap the rewards. Many possibilities and opportunities are available to you, and you are free to choose what pleases you.
Wow. I'm quitting my job.
Yay. All right, so the last one, this is like I want to say it's like a family card. Because if you can see, there's like a man and a woman, and then like they got two dogs, and then the grandpa kind of watching in the distance. And the old man's supposed to represent time, and that like this is a very long-lasting relationship. Oh yeah, and there's like a little kid right there.
What's up with all the stars?
These are pentacles. So pentacles represent earth, things of like the material world. So you asked about your career. So usually pentacles show up when you ask about your career. So let me see if there's something that I forgot. But Ten of Pentacles is happy. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles is a happy card, indicating a solid and secure life, both in business and with your family. Your work and planning have paid off, and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. You are emphasizing home and family at this point, now that you have a secure income to support them. You may be planning to build a new home or buy a second vacation home. Family matters are at the forefront, and you have the leisure to concentrate on personal affairs. In some cases, this card can represent marrying into money or receiving an inheritance.
That is a bold-faced lie.
Dude.
I'm dating an artist. This is a joke. This is such a joke.
Oh no, the cards are wrong.
That was fun.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm obviously like not a great reader yet, because usually, you know, you'd be able to make the story apply to, you know, whatever it is.
Well, not
that
with
you
that
really
attitude,
want
you're not.
I know. But I mean, it is like a happy reading, because this is a very happy card. This is basically saying like, yo, everything's cool, like, and everything is gonna work out no matter like what you decide on doing. So like whether you stay, whether you quit your job, you're gonna be fine, because you have a like solid relationship to like, you know, help you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, my relationship with myself is getting better.
Yeah,
So
and that's important.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
You know, another reading that I had was a Mayan reading,
Ooh, what's that?
and it's called the Tzolkin. Tzolkin. It reminds me of that author, J.J. Tolkien. It's a Tzolkin, and a Tzolkin is it's a fascinating Mayan reading that's like, it's not valid after 2014, and it's related to that whole when everyone thought that the world was going to end in 2012. It's a symbolic. It's a symbolic cycle, a Mayan cycle. And they told me that I was 22,000 years old.
Whoa.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah. So how
That's the only other reading I've had. Oh, and a coffee reading. That's really
where they
cool.
read like the coffee grounds?
Yes.
How is that?
I gotta take you. Very empowering, positive, not scary. It's not doomsday stuff.
Yeah.
It's a woman that has a gift. She only charges $15 because that's what they told her. The divine told her to charge.
Where is
And
she?
you go to her beautiful house in Monterey Park. Beautiful house. She doesn't need to work, but she does this because she has this gift, and she learned this gift behind her mother's back. Her mother's best friend saw she had the gift, but the mother was against it, and she's a 50-something-year-old woman, and she's been doing it since she was 13.
Oh wow.
Behind her mother's back, and super empowering. I don't know how they do it. You drink the coffee. You have to drink it yourself, and then, I mean, it's amazing. They predicted my kid going to college, which one, and I don't want to believe this stuff, and I don't know
Whoa.
I want to know what the mechanism is. You know? How does it work?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, with most divination things, like it's less to do with what this actually is and more to do with the person reading.
Yes, that's what I'm learning. Like with the Mayan reading was fascinating. I'm like, whatever, 22,000. And she comes into town once a year, and it was an 8-hour reading. I was so bored.
8 hours?
It was 8 hours because she's just channeling things about you. And
Whoa.
Yeah, you get bored. And she even told me like a snapshot of where my parents were mentally before I was born.
Sorry.
She gave us a snapshot of where my parents were when they were born, and it's something only my parents would have known. Wow. And it was really nice because my parents aren't together anymore, but it's really nice to know that at one point in some place in time, I was this time capsule of love of theirs.
Yeah.
You know? So in a way, it functions. A lot of this folk stuff functions as like psychology for us.
Yeah.
You know, forgiveness, and you know, parenting doesn't come with a manual, so you know, a lot of forgiving. But it was fascinating. That was a really crazy reading.
How do you know this woman?
she's been doing readings for like 10 years to my friend's family. So when she comes into town, what we do is we book people so that she can afford to fly out. She doesn't charge a whole lot. So, yeah, she's incredible. It was like 8 hours stream of consciousness all about me. Like,
Whoa.
and you would think I'd like that, but I was completely bored at the
I mean,
end
8
of the
hours
day.
is a very long time.
She drinks coffee and is just smoking, and she like...
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the reason the 22,000 years was interesting was because she goes, I know that you're this old because it's hard to make you laugh. And the reason it's hard to make you laugh is because you've been around so long and you've heard every joke. And even if she was just kidding, I'm kind of like, I hate funny ha-ha stuff.
Okay.
And sometimes when I think things are really funny, I'm not laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't respond to funny ha-ha stuff. So that's
You're
kind
like
of,
an old soul.
yeah, a lot of us are.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's really cool.
I know.
What
So
else
it's
did
called
she
the,
say?
it's called the Solkin. I don't
Solkin.
remember. It was so much.
How do you spell that again?
Tzolkin.
Solkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Mayan calendar according to you, and it's a bit of astrology too.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Oh.
I could
Oh my God,
connect
I'm
you,
so
but I'd have to
fascinated.
translate.
Okay. Does she not speak English?
No,
What does she speak?
Spanish.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Are you
she's an
fluent in
elder.
Spanish?
I am.
Oh, okay.
See.
That's so cool. I love that there's so many different ways to basically do the same thing.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's interesting how much faith we put in other people, though, because
Right.
we're not sure or we lack
Yeah.
faith. That's really interesting. Seeking all these kind of things out has kind of made me learn more about myself. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, maybe it was like 3-something years ago when I really started like becoming interested in like what is like psychic because I found this book in a library and I was like, oh, it said something about how like we're all capable of like psychic intuition. It's just a matter of like practicing it, honing it, and like getting better at. Some people, like that woman that did your like coffee whatever, she's just already like there, like so high there, but like there is apparently like a way for everyone to like tap into it. So I was like, okay. And so like
I believe all women are psychic.
yeah.
I personally, because my cycle is regular now that I'm older, I am very psychic right before my cycle.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What kind of things happen?
What kind of things happen? Just funny stuff. I can't even tell you. Mundane funny things all day. Nothing interesting. I can't lead a cop to like a cold case.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. But it does make me understand. Like,
Is it like when someone's like about to call you, like those like tiny things
stuff like that. Telepathy.
Yeah.
I one time was able to get a hold of a few people from my past that I hadn't talked to in 10 or 20 years. They all contacted me within 2 or 3 days.
Whoa. Is it like, were you actively thinking about them?
I wasn't meaning to think about them. And I think it had to do with like the MDMA that I took. But, and I don't do a whole lot of recreational drugs. Not that I'm above it. I just don't. I don't have time for that shit. But that was a really cool experience. And I think that those kind of things heighten what we already have. I didn't need to do MDMA to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a trip. People I hadn't talked to in 10 or 20 years all called to apologize to me. And I had already in that trip I was in, I was forgiving them.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That kind of thing. It doesn't look like magic, but I think that is magical. Like we are when we remember that we're magic. I think that's the whole witchy thing. Like, you know, it's a little annoying. Everyone's calling themselves a witch. Witch was a bad word, you know? Pagan
We're
was a bad
claiming
word.
it.
Yeah, like I don't really like that people call me a pagan. I don't like that. You know, I'm just a pagan because I'm not Christian. I don't really
know, yeah.
I don't really own that word, but I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay that people are owning it too, but it's like to be a woman is that, you know, we feel things, we feel so deeply.
Yeah.
You know, it's our strength and it's our weakness too. Do you know the work of Octavia Butler?
No, who's that?
If you read her stuff, you would probably want to animate her things.
How do you spell that?
Octavia is Octavia
Octavia,
Butler. She's an incredible person. She passed away in a really sad way, but she's my favorite author. And her characters are always protagonists, and they're always women. And she wrote Parable of the Sower, Ray, Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talents, Blood Child, and all of her characters are women that feel too much. And her books are considered sci-fi.
Wow.
But it's like there's nothing sci-fi about that.
Yeah.
And it's set in it's kind of post-apocalyptic, all of her settings, but it's all California.
Oh, wow.
And it's only considered sci-fi because of like the extreme feelings that the protagonists feel, but she just understood the female experience.
Oh, I think I would love
You
that.
have to read her. I just got goosebumps. And then after she died, I found out we had the same birthday.
What?
You guys?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she's a black sci-fi writer.
That's
What?
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Octavia Butler.
Yes.
I'm gonna look her up. That's so cool. Okay, I'm like very excited to look up her work.
Yeah, like the woman that wrote the original story of the Matrix, right? She got the story stolen from him. It's a black woman, and she finally won her case, but she used all the money for the legal battle against the Coen brothers. Who was it, right? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Different.
But another, like, women aren't really in sci-fi, especially black women, and it's
Yeah. Oh, that's so upsetting.
it is. She won at the end, but you don't even know her name. I don't even know her name. So
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh. What? Oh, my grandma was an atheist when she was little. One day she used the Ouija board for no reason. The demon apparently attacked her mom by scratching her back until blood came out. After she realized that, my grandma converted into Christianity immediately.
Well, that's a good plan. I would go Christian if that happened to me. But then she was forced to eat the body of Christ and drink his blood, though.
Which really is just like cheap wine and a cracker. Oh wow. You know, that's another thing that kind of like freaks me out. So maybe a couple of years ago, I posted a photo of like another Ouija, not this one, but like another Ouija board that's like, it's spelled like Ouija wrong. It was clearly like, you know, just a toy. And I was like, oh, I'm about to play with this with my friend. And then this girl who I used to live with, she's Filipino and a Catholic, she messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, I saw your post and I just wanted to tell you, like, you probably shouldn't mess with that. And I freak out when people do that because I'm like, oh God, you're so serious, like something happened to you. And I was like, why? Like, I was like, I need, like, convince me like to not use it. Like, what happened? And she was like, I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but like, because it's like too personal, but like stuff happened in my family. And I just want to say that like when stuff was happening, I started praying to all of the different gods that I knew, and the only one that worked was the Christian God. And so now we're all Catholic. And I was like, what?
Those are good stories, guys. Those are good reasons to go to church. I would have stayed in church if I had stories like that. Sapphire, I just remembered my scary story.
Ooh.
I can't believe it. I don't even think Ray's heard it. You guys.
Oh my God. Okay. World
I've
premiere.
been suppressing this for years. It's an Echo Park scary story. Are you ready?
God. Yes, I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Bring
I'm
the
kind
mic
of
closer.
emotional. It's so weird. This is so crazy.
Okay.
So a friend of mine had gotten to a gang. She got into this gang called 18th Street. That's really scary if you're
Is
her
that
mother.
still a gang?
That is still a gang.
Oof,
Yeah,
okay.
18th Street's still a gang. They're big like MS. We've all
Oh.
heard of MS-13.
Yeah.
Why am I shouting them out? And as punishment, she had to go to a Victory Outreach Church, which was
Okay.
the one here, the Angelus Temple in Echo Park.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
really
really
close
big
by.
church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her mom saw me as a positive role model and said,
How old were all of you?
I was 16,
Okay.
and this friend, we'll call her Bambi, because that was her name in the gang.
Okay.
Me and Bambi went to church, and at these kind of churches for Mexican American people, they try to get the kids in there by having like music programs. So there was this cheesy rock and roll band. I was a punk rocker at the time, so I was like, oh, this is so cheesy. I don't like this music. Her mom wanted me to go with her so that she would just go, and I think she had to satisfy, probation or something because she had gotten in trouble with the police.
Uh-huh.
So we're in the church. I'm sitting there, and there's a guy visiting from Canada, and he's a youth pastor. And we're all sitting down in this gorgeous big church. It's a really big money church. And he has everybody close their eyes and asks them, who wants to be saved by God? And I'm going in there like, oh, whatever. I'm here for you, girl, but this is all bullshit. I don't believe in any of this stuff. And I'm sitting on the chair, you guys. This is before I ever tried drugs, even pot. I'm sitting down in the chair, And when the pastor passes me by, I feel immediately cold and hot at the same time.
Whoa, what?
I was cold and hot at the same time.
Okay.
He had everyone close their eyes and he says, nobody's looking, but if you feel the love of God in your heart, rise. No one's looking at you. And something made me rise.
What?
Like hydraulics.
No.
Yes. I'm getting goosebumps. My friend calls goosebumps truth bumps, by the way. That's
Truth
that's
bumps.
part of intuition.
Oh, I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, he calls them truth bumps. So he said, everybody get up. I got up. You guys not
Like,
only
like you weren't
like
controlling
hydraulics.
It. Oh my god, that's creepy.
I got up
Mm-hmm.
and I was crying. And I know this is a phenomenon of mass hysteria. I knew about this. I was a really smart fucking kid. I knew about mass hysteria. I knew about cults. I knew about all that stuff. And I started crying and said that I wanted to be saved. And then my friends were tripping out on me and they're like, okay, we had to drag you here.
So it wasn't
But,
affecting them.
Not seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets up and then the band's playing and I'm just super into it. And I meet all the Christian people and they're like, you're a leader. Let's keep in touch. And I give them my address and I go home and Bambi's mom is like, how was it? We're all eating afterwards at McDonald's. How was it? Me, Bambi, and two sisters. And they're like, it was all right. It was cool. There's a cute guy there. I think I'm going to go back. Later on that night, I go home and I was really close friends with my friend's dad. We used to talk about spirituality. I had wanted to be a Hare Krishna at the time. I was really touched by Hare Krishna's 7 levels of consciousness, and he's a Jehovah's Witness, and I just love talking to him. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to be a Christian, and I love that place. I had a great experience, and blah 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 blah. I was talking a mile a minute. When I hung up the phone with him, I wrote in my diary entry how excited I was to find this path of being a Christian leader.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, I wish I still had the paper, but it went from positive at the end of my tirade, or I guess more correctly at the end of my diatribe. Is it a diatribe when you're writing, or is that only vocal?
I think when you're writing.
Okay, I don't know. I thought it was just when you're talking. But at the end of my shit, I'm cursing them, and I'm thinking that they duped me. Somewhere in that process, I felt like I was duped.
Whoa.
I couldn't sleep.
I just got freaking chills.
I
Okay.
couldn't sleep the whole night. And then the next day, Bambi's mom calls me and says, are you okay? And I said, yeah, why? She goes, I've just never seen you so happy about something. And I just thought it was weird that you got excited for the Christian church. And she was really nurturing.
Yeah.
She would take us to all kinds. She took me to my first art show. She's a really cool lady. And I said, you know what? I never want to go back to that place. I feel like they drugged me. I didn't eat anything there. That's
Yeah.
why I don't know what happened. That night, the sisters that I was with, one turned an ice pick on the other one.
What?
She was trying to kill her that night.
Whoa.
Just really crazy. I
What?
know.
What?
Angelus Temple, Echo Park. That was the craziest thing. I've not thought about that in years.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
So I don't know if I was possessed or I don't know.
So at what moment, like while you were writing in your journal, did you realize
I don't know
that-
when the transition happened, but towards the end I was crying and I felt like I was duped.
Do you still have that journal?
No.
That's
I
crazy.
hardly remember this story.
Whoa, that is so creepy.
I think it has to do with the fact that one explanation from an elder, I talk to all kinds of, you guys need to talk to old people. It's great. I used to always talk to people at bus stops everywhere. I love talking to older people. And one thing that came to me was because I'm so open to things, I just could have been easily,
Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen to your friends. Well, we
the
don't know
sisters
what
attacking each other was
That's-
also very uncharacteristic according to the parents. That's what was weird too.
But were they fine?
They're fine in the end. No one got hospitalized. But
Right.
one sister, like an ice pick. Where'd an ice pick come
Where,
from?
I know. Where do you get that?
They didn't know where the ice pick came from.
That's weird.
And the fact that a sister turned the ice pick on the other. So I don't know. Was the devil hiding at the church? Is there a devil? Am I the devil? What is that?
Oh, that's so crazy. And that's the only time anything like that has ever happened to you.
I think so.
What? Oh, fun fact, if you get chills, it's sometimes a sign of a ghost in the room or even walk through you. No.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm not against it, man. I don't know everything.
That's, oh. Thanks for hosting. It just means someone's hosting the stream on their channel.
Oh, that's nice.
I can't stop thinking about this. So if you had to try and explain it, what do you think? What makes the most sense to you?
I don't know. I was always like a really big thinking kind of a kid. Like I always loved philosophies and things about anything that's about anything bigger outside of me. I've always liked stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I'm open to figuring out what that was. I mean, psychologically, I mean, I'm telling you, I was a sober kid. I had never done drugs. Now, having experimented with certain plant medicine, I can kind of compare it to a trip. It was like a trip.
Wow.
It was like an acid trip.
Is there any sort of drug that could be like, I'm trying to think how else they could have maybe like
what was
done
the explanation
something to
for that?
you, right?
Yeah.
Like you
I never
inhaled something, like I don't know.
I'd never been so gullible in my life. I was so gullible for this guy, you know.
So what happened when you had your eyes closed?
Yeah.
So you don't know what was going on.
He was walking by me, like I could smell him. I'm like an animal. I'm like, snuggle. I could smell everybody.
Yeah.
I remember he walked by me, but the temperature that I got, I thought was strange.
Cold and hot?
Cold and hot at the same. It was like I was clammy.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any theories on what that was? Were you listening?
Ray's got his own stories. Ray should just pull up a chair.
Come on, end the stream.
Come in the hot seat.
No? Okay. Soraya's friend Ray is over there in the corner.
He's going to tell boring, scary stories of gentrification, so you don't want to talk to him. He's going to talk about scary East Coast investors. It's not that kind of show.
Oh. Oh, man. Okay, well, I know that you need to leave soon. So, unless you guys have any last questions for Soraya,
I recently found out that my name means the Pleiades, though. That's kind of cool.
what's the Pleiades?
The Pleiades is the galaxy where the aliens come from.
Whoa, that's cool.
Here's another crazy thing. My name in Japanese is Subaru, which is my favorite car. That's not scary. That's just cool. Sorry. That's just
awesome.
cool.
Super.
I know. It's funny.
Wait, like how they pronounce it in Japanese, or like it literally translates?
Well,
to
it's a
Subaru?
cluster of stars. Like, my name's Arabic, so there's a lot of
cool.
interpretations. Brightest star, cluster of stars. But the bull's tail in astrology is a Soraya. And that's the galaxy that I went to an alien conference. I met Eric Von Donigan. He wrote Chariot of the Gods. It's like
I don't know
a
that.
famous, amazing Bible. It's like what the whole Ancient Aliens is based on.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some weirdo told me there. And I was like, that's so cool.
Oh my god. Wait, where was that alien conference?
It's in Joshua Tree.
Ooh.
By the
okay.
Integratron.
Okay. I think my friend went to that and he saw something there.
They do sound baths there. You can stay the
I
night
really
there.
wanna go.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
No, but I know the person that leads it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he made a really cool cartoon movie about the whole like 432 sound healing thing. You guys gotta watch. It's called Sonic Geometry 2. It's like a 30-minute awesome movie, and the last 10 minutes are mandalas to strengthen your third eye.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look that up. I have so many things to look up.
So many things to look up.
Octavia
Octavia Butler.
What was the other one?
I know. I didn't know I liked aliens so much, but I guess we are aliens too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to someone.
To someone.
Oh wait, there's a. How do you know each other? What is your zodiac and what's your birthstone? Do you have your own YouTube channel? I think these are questions for you.
I'm gonna have a YouTube channel that you won't want to watch. It's just about how to use your Instant Pot. Because I'm a nutritionist and I like to teach people how to cook.
Hey, that's useful.
Yeah, I have an
I
Instagram.
should get one.
Huh?
Oh yeah. Do you what's all your social media?
My
stuff?
community Instagram. I'm a nutritionist. It's not really exciting, but I love to teach people how to eat good. It's Godmother213, and it's also a website, godmother213.com.
Cool. And we know each other. I still don't fully understand. I am her cousin's cousin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
And a cool thing about us is that our families are from, we're from a part of the Philippines called the Visayas, and people in our town are descendants of a warrior named Lapu Lapu, and Lapu Lapu led the awesome massacre of Magellan. So we're really proud of that. Where the part of the Philippines that our family's from has a crest of like 17 daggers, and there were already guns at the time, and Magellan lost. He lost against our daggers. So I'm very proud of that. It means we're still here. It's a form of resistance. I think it informs a lot of my work.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'm not into guns though.
Yeah.
Just daggers. Don't cross me.
Co-illusion. Where do I send my experiences so you can read?
Yeah.
My email for that is somethingscary@snarled.com. So feel free to email me there. Sorry if my question was confusing. Autocorrect. Oh, no. You're fine. Okay. Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Any last parting words before you leave?
This was really exciting. Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me share our family exorcism story.
Oh yeah. Hope you guys like that. All right. Bye guys. Have a good night.